Okay, so if you would just take a moment to take a breath and come more into the middle, the center of your body, and just let it relax and let your head get quiet. And begin to feel your breath just coming in and out. Soft breathing. Feeling your feet on the floor, your body in the chair. Your breath coming in, touching your heart center, and grounding you to the earth, giving you these moments to sink into, to be embraced by, to prepare to receive, to feel yourself in the presence of love and teachings and family and the honor of humanity.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. What is your perception of the room? Of what might be here? A meeting among people of like mind, listening to that which you call channeling? Or is it something else? I invite you to change your complete paradigm at this moment. I want you to call upon something that is higher in vibration than you can conceive. You are three-dimensional, so multi-dimensional things are not perceivable. It's not in your reality to think into a multi-dimensional state. And yet I'm asking you to. When you feel overwhelming love and compassion, it is a multi-dimensional state. It is so different. Some of you simply call it emotion. You know better. You know better. The mothers in here who look into the eyes of their newborn for the first time, is it emotional or are you in an altered reality? That altered reality is compassionate love that only a mother knows. The father can look, but the mother sees it different, connected to her, part of her, born from her. And the child opens its eyes eventually and looks at mom. Altered reality for life, a moment in time you'll never forget, ever. No matter what happens after that, you'll never forget that. I want to create that here right now. I want you to see that this can be an altered reality. I want you to relax the paradigms of your doubt. It will not harm you for a moment to dismiss logic. It will not harm you for a moment to look upon a paradigm you'd never seen and didn't expect, or will it? What have you been told? I want a reunion, just for a moment, with the souls in the room. Just for a moment. I want you to drop the fact that perhaps you've got bodily functions that you've been holding for a break. I want you to drop for a moment everything. And your body will cooperate and it'll settle down just for a moment. It's only for a moment. I want you to look into the eyes of your higher self and see the same thing that you saw, perhaps, mother, in your firstborn. This is dramatic. It is not emotion. This altered reality brings you home for a minute. Home is where the bigger picture is. It's where the truth of all things are. And you can go there anytime, but in a group, it's special because you got help right now. Help that is grander than when you're alone, because there are so many of you and there's this entourage that presses on you and asks for you to drop logic just for a moment. And in that moment, what message would you get? And I'll tell you this. It's not going to be profound inventions. It's not going to be that which is for the future. It's not going to be answers to the questions which you ponder or solutions to your problems. That's not the message. It's more profound than that. And the message is this: you are temporarily human. Your real status, that which is your reality, is non-corporeal, and it is from the center of the galaxy, from the creative source, your family. There's a bigger picture here. Relax in it and know you are loved and known by name. Loved and known by name. Everything else shrivels in comparison to this. It's diminished in comparison to this. No problem you have really measures up to this. And I want you to sit here and feel this just for a moment, in whatever way you can, to know that there is a grand picture beyond the scope of your reasoning or your ability to understand totally. It is beyond the logic of what you grew up with, what you've been told, and it's real. It does not destroy belief, it enhances belief. It does not diminish God, it enhances God. It does not make others wrong, it includes them in the greater compassion of spirit. Everything that you're seeing enhances everything you have, the others around you, and humanity in general. It is beautiful. Beyond the scope of love, it is creative source. And that's who you are. All the things that I'm going to say later are about teaching. This is not. This is about feeling. What is your perception right now? Have you been able to open the box for a moment and allow something grander and different? It's up to you. It's free choice. There's nothing pressing on you, except that which we will call spiritual common sense. God is bigger than what humans have told you from their scope, which is human. God is not a parent and there is no judgment. God is family from the creative source, period. God is love, and so are you. Ally with this truth and throw away the concepts which would diminish the mastery of God, the splendor that is you. The spark that created the universe is in you, and you were there. It doesn't get any bigger than that. And with that, we say, let the day begin. Can you really, really get there? Can you for a moment simply visualize these things and relax with any problem you would have just for a moment? Just for a moment. Your cells will feel that. Total, complete beauty. No problems. No issues. And that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. And
Let's just draw our energy inward, deepening that feeling of receiving as this day has been about. And take a breath. And let yourself feel a softening, feel a release. And take another breath. And sink into that place that is like a heart space for you, that gives you a place of peace inside, a place that's soft but aware, a place that's receptive, a place that feels and understands and is compassionate. That beautiful soul spark in the center of your being, the place where the divine resides, and you are wrapped around it in your human container, coming into this life, this time, this vibration of consciousness, and all that we share together, and all that is resonant in this new vibration. And we share the love, and we share the family that we are together. We share the arms of the entourage around us, loving us, supporting us, encouraging us, like divine cosmic cheerleaders, giving us the encouragement that we need. And let yourself just sink back into that feeling of being so loved. There is no space left between you and divine love, and you become one. And you can begin to feel that the message of Kryon is for you. And you are ready and happy to receive it.
greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. My partner steps aside, as he must for a channel like this to be given. He knows what this is like and has done it many times. He's in a place, if you wish to call it that. He is listening like you are listening. He has distractions, however, that are not the ones you have, and he's spoken of that before. He is not talking now. And again, we say that perception must be clean for you to cognize what is being said. I speak of things that are beyond his knowledge. And I talk about the real energy of this planet that is physical right now. We have spoken of physics many times. We're not going to today. But we're going to talk about physical, three-dimensional things that are affecting you through an interdimensional source that is changing that which you know. We have said now for years that this change was coming. The prophecies have been clear in their own vague way that the consciousness of the planet itself was going to shift. That the planet would become softer. And that things unexpected would happen. We even told you there's a wild card coming. And that you're going to get more of them. And they may feature things, inventions you didn't expect, actions you didn't expect, benevolence you didn't expect. Softer energy is coming to you. And that is very sweet. And many have said, that's a good prediction, a wonderful prophecy. I want to tell you what's really happening. I want to give you the ABCs of it, as you say. I want to give you the physicalness and the reality of what's going on. Some of this will appear to you as a review, but it isn't. It's a consolidation of many little pieces that I've given you before to show you what is going on today. The subject is DNA. DNA is not simply a chemical molecule in your body. It is a multi-dimensional piece of divinity. The very molecule that you call DNA is all over the galaxy, dear ones. It is life. It is the way life forms. It is the patterning. It is the geometry of life everywhere. And you're going to see this. Well understood by many, not so well by some. And it's changing. It can only change through physics. You are not receiving any chemical changes from the universe. It's all through physics. I'll review 26 years ago when I came in. I told my partner to write in his first book, and he did, that the magnetic grid of the earth is shifting. And it did. It had to. Because the magnetic grid of the planet is related to, intertwined with, the physics of human consciousness. As goes the grid, goes human consciousness. And it has been approximately the same through your lifetimes. And now it moves a lot. It moved so that it could be positioned to receive something that is now receiving. Think of it as moving the furniture so that you can better view something you didn't know was viewable. And so you're reposturing the grid for something coming to it that's going to end up being called an evolutionary energy. And it's physical. It's really physical. Months ago and years before that, we told you that your planet is going into a place, if you want to call it that, in space that it never has been in before. This is not esoteric. Ask an astronomer. Is the solar system coming out of a protective bubble into a new kind of radiation or energy or whatever you can call it that you haven't seen before? Is it possible that your solar system is losing a protective sheath that it's always had because of where it was? I want you to understand your solar system has always been on the move. It rotates around the center of the galaxy. You're always in a new period of time and space, constantly. But all of the lifetimes on this planet you've had have been in one energy, and now it changes. And now it changes. Physically, what is it doing? The new energy is affecting your sun. Because this energy is designed to do that. Dear ones, what if I told you this energy was always here waiting for you to pass the marker? This is an evolutionary energy that's going to affect your sun, the heliosphere of your sun, which then passes to the magnetic field of the earth, which has now been repostured for new consciousness. Oh, there are those who intellectuals say, well, what if we had destroyed ourselves? What if there was no humans to receive this? It's simple. Nothing would have happened. But the area of space was still there, and the same energies would have been there, and you would not have been. Simple. But you are. And so the prophecy itself from the indigenous is being fulfilled a great deal by the new energy that are in space. They affect your sun. The heliosphere of your sun changes. Now, the sun had to be quiet for this. I want you to ask an astronomer about the sun and the cycles of the sun. And I want you to ask the astronomer, what period of radiance is the sun in at the moment? And the astronomer will say, well, it appears to be one of the quietest times the sun has ever seen. Solar flares and sunspots are disturbances in the multidimensional field that surrounds the heliosphere of the sun. We wanted it as quiet as possible, and this was timed for that. The sun is quiet. It's affecting your weather. We told you that. Due to its quietness, you're in a cycle of weather that we also predicted that has a lot to do with the energy that's coming. That's physical. Ask an astronomer. They're worried about it, some of them. Others are not. It is affecting you. Now you know why the magnetic grid was changed when it was changed. And why? That's physical. Now, a bit more esoteric, at the same time this is happening, we gave you the information of the nodes and the nulls. Is it possible that the Pleiadians themselves, having been there at the beginning and knowing about this change, this marker. The ones that actually helped with the prophecies, they actually were the ones that influenced the Mayan calendar, of course, through intuition. Would know about this time. The nodes and the nulls are fast track engines that are affecting the grids of the planet. Consciousness. The grids of the planet affect consciousness. Crystalline, remembrance, magnetic consciousness that is soft or hard. The Gaia grids, all of them are being tempered, fast-tracked, fed, if you want to say, by the nodes and the nulls. This is information, if you haven't heard about it before, is easy to find. I want you to look at the confluence of energies that are shifting and changing that directly affect one thing, your DNA. The DNA of the human being is ready to shift and change. You'll never see it in a microscope because it's not chemical, it's physics. The 90% of DNA that heretofore was junk, and now you understand it's not, has within it information that is multidimensional and is ready to receive information from the sources I just gave you. Like antennas in your body, the DNA is going to receive and shift, and it's going to affect genetics. Mothers receive it first, pass it to your children. Mothers, you don't even know you've got it, and you're passing it to your kids. There is what you would call perhaps an agreement in biology that it would be passed in a new way to the newborns. And the newborns are the ones that would then wake up with the change. And they are. I'm going to talk about Genesis cells in a moment because this is important that you know what they are. And it will be perhaps new information or maybe not. It's a Kryon term, not a medical term. There may be medical terms similar. This is different. The baby comes into the planet, and what is going on is you're in a new place in space. You have the nodes and the nulls feeding into the grid new information, and the paradigm of consciousness is different for them than for you. Things start working better. Intuitive self, the barrier between innate and consciousness. All of these things start to improve. The barrier starts to become less. Be ready for children that have intuition about what's wrong with them. And if they tell you something's wrong, take them to the doctor. Don't tell them it's your imagination, honey, or it'll be okay later. Do you hear that? There are those listening to this right now who need to hear that because their children are looking at them and saying this. I feel funny. Something's wrong. Moms for years used to raising children are used to a paradigm in the old energy. And the paradigm has a certain kind of health template. It's changed. The kids are waking up to being intuitive about their own health. The bridge isn't built yet to innate, but it is close and they're feeling something, and Nate is talking to them for the first time. You didn't get it. They do. Listen to them. The akash of the child is starting to become clearer. These children are going to tell you so many things about who they've been and what they've done. Church, get ready for it. If you're a parent and you're listening to this now, the worst thing you can do is suppress it. The best thing you can do is to tell the child the absolute truth. The absolute truth. I believe you. There are those who won't. Let's make an agreement when you say it out loud and when you don't. That's truthful. And the child will get it. The child will get it. And it won't disturb things that you don't want disturbed. And the child will know it because it has an ally called a parent who believes it 100%. These are instructions for kids in the new age. It's going to get even stronger. The children they have will surprise them on how much better certain things work. Now that's a newborn child. Instinct is going to work better than it ever has. Now, instinct is not something that you're used to seeing in humans. You see it in animals. Because the offspring of animals, for survival, have an instinct that is passed so well they can walk within hours of birth. You don't have that. Instinct is starting to become part of that which is akash. It is chemical as well as being esoteric, as is in animals. You ought to have it, and you will. You're going to see children remembering how to walk and how to eat faster. Faster than they should have. Faster than the doctors that know about child development will give you. It's off the scale. Get ready for it. It's instinct. It's simple chemistry, but it's working better. Just like in the animal kingdom. Children will come in remembering what their parents know, what their parents are able to do, what a human being is able to do, walk and talk, and eat properly. As it is now, every mother in the room knows you start from scratch, nothing, zero, every time a child is born. And that is changing. If you look at the individual cell and DNA itself, if you could say what is happening, it is becoming enabled. Now you're using a funny word, and it's a buzzword in esoteric, and it's called activation. Don't change it, it's fine. But it actually is not accurate. You are releasing DNA from a prison. If you have somebody who is crippled in a chair, now this is going to mean something to those of you who are here, not to those who are listening later, because there's been an example on the screen. A cripple in a chair, shriveled, not able to move. And suddenly they are released slowly from this, and the fingers untangle. The hand starts to become whole again. They start to move and wiggle because of something that's happened to the DNA. Not to the hand, not to the muscles, not to the fingers, not even to the arm, to the DNA. It's a release. I want you to hold this vision. Released from a prison of being crippled. Your DNA is crippled. And it's your free choice of where you wanted to take the energy of this planet, and your DNA cooperated. That is what you've lived with, and that's what's changing. It's not DNA activation, it's DNA release. Release. Look at that. In the paradigm, in your visualization, you're releasing what has been held back. And you're asking how? Do you realize the help that you have? Did you think for a moment that all of this was going to be you just doing things? It involves the galaxy, the part of space you're in, the nodes and the nulls, the creator of the universe. It involves the Pleiadians. It involves your timeline. All of this for you to sit in a new energy and release the DNA. Dear ones, I want to tell you, old souls, there's something you ought to know. You don't have to wait for this. The old soul has the equipment inside right now, just like the newborn. Now, I want you to follow this. We've not talked about this in this way before. Your DNA is filled with information and templates. Now, we are calling them templates, which are patterns and paradigms of life. And they are templates which you have only received partially. Now, what you don't know about a template, it has what we would call patterning of its own. If you have a portion of a template already, that is to say, a piece of the design, it draws to itself the rest of the design if it could get it. Did you understand that? If you have a piece of the picture, that piece has an attitude. An attitude of desire and wanting the rest of the picture. As soon as it's possible to get that, it's like magnetics. It literally flies to itself, and the template snaps into place, and you get the whole thing. All of you have pieces of the template. And all of those pieces in an old soul are ready to attach themselves, literally calling the names of the rest of the template to come forward. And in this new energy, that is what you can do. You are going to then complete the templates that are missing. Old soul. One of the templates that never goes away is part of a manual. Think of it this way. Although it's not linear, I want you to think of the manual of birth. When you came in, what was the manual like? What page were you on when you were 5 days old? What page were you on at 6 months? What page were you on when you were 30? And you all know that all the pages are different because of the chronology of growing up. The pages are still there. The template is still there for what I call Genesis cells. Genesis cells, as I will define them, are the cells of a newborn which accelerate growth and learning. All the antennas are 10 times as long as they are for you now. The child absorbs the world in 6 months, learns everything in 6 months. Speech, walking, all of the things. Its antennas are so big, listening to the attitudes and the consciousness of every single parent in the room. You know that. It's different for a kid than it is now. And then that slows down. And then you have the adult. Genesis cells, they're still there. The template is still there. The instruction sets for how they're made, if you want to call it that, are still there. By the way, it's all physics. Now, old soul, these cells are available for you now. Just go get them in the book. You do it with affirmations, you do it with consciousness, you do it with meditation. However you communicate with innate, it's ready to activate the Genesis cells. And what that means to you is fast-track growth to enlightenment. To any situation you have, whether it's healing, whether it's teaching, whether it's talent, can you imagine right now, whatever age you are, 10 times? Genesis cells are ready for the old soul. I keep saying old soul. Did you notice? You've got to have graduated. In other words, a number of lifetimes gives you the template information that a newbie would not have that's been on the earth 4 or 5 times. You've got to have 100 lifetimes, maybe 1,000, to develop experience, to recognize what's going on. Every one of you in this room can say to yourself, I know that I've been here before. You know too much. You feel too much. You're in this room. You wouldn't be otherwise. That's been stated. It's accurate and it's true. You're an old soul. Everything I just told you is about the enhancement of the human being in an energy that if you were alert, you would have expected. What does an enhanced old soul look like? And the answer is compassion. I close with this. The secret to mining your Akash is having compassionate consciousness. Does that surprise you? That's what has been missing all along. If you're going to mine your Akash, that is to be in touch with who you were and start rewriting who you are, you're going to have to come to an agreement of compassion with yourself. Lack of anger, care for others, purity of God inside. Now, I've never said that before. That's physics. The physics of consciousness to create compassion creates what I call compassionate action. Then you can start mining your Akash. It's for everyone in the room. An old soul knows how to do this. Those listening, I know who you are. You wouldn't be listening unless you were an old soul, even an uninterested old soul. You are one. You know you are. Compassion is the king of all descriptions of emotion at this point on the planet. It's going to lead you into an evolved state, and without compassion and caring for others, it is not going to work. In fact, nothing will work. Very slowly, there's going to be a split, and we talked to you about it before, of those who are compassionate and those who are not. And it's going to be obvious. Obvious. Caring or uncaring. State of mind. That's the split to come. Don't worry about it, compassionate one. When you take the attributes of the Master, light surrounds you. No more fortressing. Some of you know what that is. No more catching the diseases of the day. They won't be able to touch you with compassion. It's physics. It's real. It's physical. And it's happening now. Your society will reflect this. sooner than you think. And you turn on your news and you think I'm crazy. Just wait. There's some wild cards coming. Benevolent in a new energy. I'm crying in love with humanity. And so it is.